Alexa, what's the square root of 795?
The square root of 795 is 28.1957.
Yeah, that sounds about right, according to my math. Coming up next, we are going to talk about the Amazon Echo Auto. It clips to your dash, and I'm not sure it's worth it. Stay tuned to find out why.
This is Twit.
This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Expressvpn. Protect your online identity today and find out how you can get 3 months free with a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/hot. Welcome back to Hands on Tech. I am Micah Sargent, and today we're going to be talking about a new product from Amazon that is actually still in the testing phase. In fact, I just got an email about it saying, hey, you want to share some thoughts on what you think of the Echo Auto? So interestingly, and it's something that I wonder if Amazon's going to fix in the end, is that the Echo Auto actually comes in 2 pieces. It was in a box, an Amazon box, and surprisingly it was a normal sized box, unlike most packages that come from Amazon. And it has the Echo Auto air vent mount and the actual Echo Auto device itself. So a little bit weird, and I'm curious if the sort of final run of the product is going to be packaged in the same way. So before we get to the vent mount, which is far less boring, let's go ahead and talk about the Amazon Echo itself. So it comes in a nice little black box and doesn't have a whole lot of external kind of reference to what the product is. But you open it up, and inside you get your normal plug that you plug into your 12-volt adapter in your car. And what's nice is that Amazon was smart enough to include 2 USBs. So if you've already got something plugged in and you're like, I really didn't want to have to unplug that, no worries, because they are both there. One for the actual Echo Auto itself and one for whatever else you had. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in to our 12-volt car adapter here. And there's a nice little blue light that shows up to let you know that it's on and working. Then the device itself, which let me get this out of here, very, very small, very lightweight. And I was surprised kind of at how little there is in this package. But it makes sense whenever we talk about connectivity next and sort of what the device is capable of. It's not that hard to really consider that this is all there is to it. It's a pretty simple setup. You've got your normal buttons like you have on any Echo device, including muting the microphone and going ahead and tapping to actually trigger Alexa, as we call her, so that we don't trigger all of your devices. As well as you can see Amazon's excellent microphone array. There are 8 microphones right along the top there. And then on the side, we've got the auxiliary port. So if you don't have Bluetooth, then you are able to use that instead, and the little micro USB so that you can charge it. The other things that are in the box include, you don't have to supply your own cable for the auxiliary port. If you need to use that, then you can. And I just have to note, it's nerdy, but I really love that Amazon included tiny little cable clips on the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack so that you can easily clip and sort of cable manage without having to add any extra tech to it. So we won't be using that today because we're going to be connecting via Bluetooth, but that is available if you do need to use it that way. Also included in the box is the cable that you need to actually power the Amazon Echo Auto. Now, this is, they've kind of standardized their cables for the different Echo devices. And so it has like a nice soft touch finish, which I like. And normally I wouldn't talk about the cables, but there's something important. This is in your car, and your car is probably, if it's outside, it's gonna get hot. And I've known a few cables that get nice and sticky after they've sat out in the sun for a while, and they start to get dirty, they start to look bad, then you don't want to have that cable showing up in your car. But this has this nice soft touch finish that I have noticed is better at withstanding heat and doesn't get sticky and tacky after a while, leave marks on your dash or something like that. So again, a little bit nerdy, but something worth noting. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into the adapter that Amazon has provided. And next, we have to talk about the far more branded Echo Auto air vent mount. So this is the sort of, I think this is the more important part of this device, because on its own, it's kind of hard to figure out where you're going to place it. There are these little silicone pads on the back of the Amazon Echo Auto, but they're not strong enough to sort of hold the device on your dash. And in fact, I was a little disappointed because I thought that Amazon would use what's called micro suction pads, and it's essentially these tiny, tiny, tiny air bubbles within a pad that is placed on a device, and then it serves kind of like a suction cup, but it doesn't leave residue or anything like that because it just uses the principle of suction as opposed to any sort of sticky material. Those are excellent, and I recommend those for all sorts of devices. If you need something to stay in place, then look up some suction pads and micro suction pads and check those out, particularly if you are not wanting to leave anything nasty on your dash. So without the vent mount, it's kind of hard to figure out where we're going to put it, so we'll start there. It's a one-piece device, and it has a magnetic plate on the front, and then on the back, lots of different soft pads to make sure that it doesn't scratch the surface of your car, as well as this handy-dandy rotatable, and might I add, nice and clicky, clip, I guess is the best way to call it. It is for a vent, and it basically is split into 4 pieces and allows you to sort of slide it into a vent no matter what your vent setup might look like. So on the front, you can see that we have a cable management clip. Again, bless you, Amazon. Bless you for your brilliance. And in fact, I don't know if we can get a close-up here, but one of the things that I like about this is that it has 2 layers of cable clip management. So that means if you're not using Bluetooth with the device, then you can thread through the power cable for the Amazon Echo Auto on one layer, and then underneath you can thread through the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and try and position this on the vent, and we'll see how it goes. In fact, this is kind of my biggest complaint about this device, is again, no alternative forms of placement, because for different cars, you might not have a vent that's set up for this, and I found that a little disappointing. So they recommend that you place the Echo Auto Vent Mount 3.5 thousand, it's a silly name, somewhere above where the AC is coming out. Although Amazon has excellent noise cancellation features, especially for their Echo devices, it can still be a little bit of an issue if you're in a hot place and you're running the AC or the heat to for the device to hear it, and particularly if you're running heat, in which case you could end up overheating the device. They don't want that either. So they recommend that you place it above the vent. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the driver's side vent here. But on my car, I actually used it on the passenger side vent on the center console, and it worked just fine there in that spot. So we'll go ahead, I clicked it so that it was straight up and down, but again, it is adjustable, but you kind of want to match it to the way that your vent is set up, and then you slide it between the slots near the top. So here we go. I'm going to sort of look at placement and kind of keep the vent steady as I press in, and you can see that it's in there. And now I will click to adjust it just a hair so that it's kind of straight up and down. Now, as you can see in this vehicle, there's a bit of an issue because the vent closure knob is a little closed off due to the Amazon Echo Vent Mount 7.0's placement. So you can slide it a little bit depending on where it is, and now I have a little bit more access to that, but again, it's not ideal. I think that if this device, ends up being something that Amazon sells, I would really like to see some different mounting options for it, including maybe to the rear view mirror. But for now, this works, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Echo Auto device itself and drop it onto the vent mount. That's so satisfying. It's magnetic, It slides right in. Essentially, there's a depression on the back of the Echo Auto and a nice little finger slot so you can easily get it off, but it's easy to place, clicks in, and you're good to go. Now, we'll go ahead and plug it in. There we go. And unfortunately, there aren't any clips on this cable, so I would do some cable management with this, but I can immediately go ahead and take this clip, take the cord, and slide it into the cable management underneath, and I'll slide it down to that second spot and kind of place it. So that way it is a little bit out of the way, and I'm not sort of annoyed by the fact that it's there. This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Expressvpn. Look, it turns out that stealing data from unsuspecting people on public Wi-Fi, it's one of the simplest and cheapest ways for hackers to make money. And so why not check out Expressvpn? It costs less than $7 per month and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Its apps use powerful encryption to secure your data. You can download the app on so many devices, you click to connect, and you're protected. Protect your online activity today and find out how you can get 3 extra months free with a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/hot. That's expressvpn.com/hot. Check it out. expressvpn.com/hot. Now comes the next step, and this is the most important thing about the Echo Auto. The Echo Auto can't do anything on its own. Essentially, it is a microphone interface with the Alexa app. So when the Amazon Echo powers on, I'm going to open the Amazon Alexa app here, and within the Amazon Echo device, I will tap Devices. I will tap the plus button in the top right corner. I will tap Add Device, and then up at the top it shows popular brands of devices you might want to add. Tap on Amazon Echo, and then tap on Echo Auto. Now it gives you a little bit of information. Hey, I hope you're not driving right now and trying to set up Echo Auto. Obviously you don't want to be doing that. Do it while you're parked. I tap continue. Yes, I'm not driving. And then it tells you what you need to do with attaching it to the air vent like we did, positioning it at the top, and with the LED light bar on the front of the device facing outward. I tap continue, and then it's going to look for the Echo Auto. So here's my Echo Auto. I'll tap on that, and it says, do you want to set that up? Absolutely. So I'll tap continue, and then it's going to want to connect to the device via Bluetooth. And so this actually does take a few minutes, I've noticed, for it to actually show up as an accessory to pair to, particularly on iPhone. And once it pops up, then you just tap on it, and at that point it does the Bluetooth pairing process. So it's just letting you do Bluetooth pairing within the app as opposed to having to go separately in your Bluetooth settings and take care of it. Now, the next step, it's going to check to make sure that it is properly connected to your car's stereo via Bluetooth in this case. And so you need to make sure that your audio is turned up, and then press play to test. And so basically all that does is it makes sure that the stereo is indeed connected with the Amazon Echo and the Amazon Echo app. So we'll tap continue.
Your device is ready.
Now it's making sure that I'm me, and by doing so, then it can connect to your different music accounts that you might have, and also your contacts and things like that. And now we are connected to the Echo Auto. So for example, I can say, and everybody get ready, and get ready to tell your devices, never mind. Play the Twit podcast.
Here's Twit Bits from TuneIn.
This is Twit.
Hey, let's talk about dual screen phones.
Yeah.
All right.
Not foldable phones.
Okay.
Dual screen.
Pause. So I can easily pause, play, and in fact, to kind of get you going, and I'm going to put my phone away now because that's pretty much all that there is involved with that. Once you've got it set up on your phone, then you don't really need to use this app except for making some adjustments to the settings and things like that. But the whole point of this is to control Alexa with your voice. And so we've got that set up now, so we can put this away. As long as the Bluetooth connection remains, then you're good to go. So in the booklet, along with a little quick start guide and of course the terms and conditions, there's a things to try feature. So for example, I can say, Play some music you think I'll like.
Here is Spotify.
I do like Spotify. Escala. Add bananas to my shopping list.
I've added bananas to your shopping list.
Or how about Escala? Remind me to pick up groceries.
When should I remind you?
Later today.
When today should I remind you?
Oh, you can't get specific. 3 p.m.
When should I remind you today? Period of day.
Evening.
When should I remind you this evening?
7 p.m. please.
Okay, I'll remind you at 7 p.m.
Now that was a little frustrating. Amazon's assistant was not very good at natural language conversations. And so that is a bit of a bummer in general, to try and guess how Alexa needs to hear you. Take me to the nearest gas station.
Here are a few nearby gas stations. 1. Petaluma Valero. 2. Chevron. 3. West Payron and Food Mart. And 4. Quick Stop. You can ask me for things like, take me to the first one.
Take me to the first one.
You'll need to tap the notification on your iPhone to start directions when it's safe to do so. If you don't see a notification, you can turn these on in your iPhone settings.
Once you've kind of had that conversation with Alexa, then you can go ahead and tap on the notification that pops up, and it will automatically open in the app, in your app of choice, your navigation app of choice, and give you an easy way to see that. So the idea, of course, is that you would have your phone kind of mounted near your device, because you're using that for navigation and things like that. So tap go, and then it'll go the rest of the way. And then maybe you are supposed to be recording a hands-on tech about the Amazon Echo Auto, but you're running behind and you need to let the producer know. So you say, let's call Anthony Nielsen. So I've been using the Echo Auto a little bit, and I have to say it's not a whole lot different for me from using Siri on my iPhone to control things. It's okay, and it is kind of fun to have Alexa in the car, but if you have a navigation system that you've sort of built up for yourself using your virtual assistant that's built into your device, not really a point necessarily to use the Echo Auto. It is, I guess, a device for people who are really invested in the Echo ecosystem and are not necessarily that invested in talking to their phones. It's a cool product. It was fun to try, but it is certainly not something that I would recommend for most people, unless you've just got, I don't know, a boatload of Echoes in your home and you sort of want to have something on the go to do that with as well. Because most of the stuff that it does, it ends up sending over to your phone anyway. So why wouldn't I just say, hey, SIRI, give me directions to the nearest gas station? Or hey, SIRI, let me call this person. Much simpler in those ways. And it doesn't have necessarily a compelling use case that I can see outside of people heavily invested in Amazon's ecosystem. But alas, that is the Echo Auto, and dare I forget, the Echo Auto Air Vent Mount. Now, Amazon is currently in the process of testing this with invitation only folks. I got in early and got an invite to try it out. But we'll see if it gets released soon to the public. And when that happens, then you can check it out for yourself if you'd like. Thanks for watching. I've been Micah Sargent, and you can check me out on iOS Today and Tech News Weekly, all over at twit.tv.
Keep up with all the hottest tech news and gadgets. Visit twit.tv. There you'll be able to find and subscribe to all our tech shows. Thanks for watching Hands on Tech.